Hello, how's everyone doing today? So, those that don't know me, my name is Rob Charles, founder and CEO of Goldfingr. So, let me see a show of hands in here. Who in here is an investor? That's all the investors that are in here? Okay. Who in here is also an entrepreneur? Can I ask you who in here has actually raised capital before, but from traditional investing? Okay, so, and with crypto as well, raise capital. Okay, so we all know how time-consuming and inefficient investing and raising capital is. It's a big pain. No one really likes it. Some people like to do it. I personally, as an entrepreneur, I like to focus on my business. So here's the stats. Entrepreneurs spend 70% of their time raising capital, 70%. 70% of the time. So as an investor, would you ever want to invest in a company that's spending 70% of their time raising capital? So this is why we created Goldfingr. Okay, so my background a little bit, I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. And I started building tech companies in 1996. My first startup was the first online art gallery. So, and then I started investing in 2003. And so I've done on both sides in multiple industries through the years. And I said, hey, this is just completely inefficient. And this is not how the world operates, all the tech systems that are out there, right? So this is why we created Goldfingr. So in 2014, we launched the first virtual global investment club. So here's, I'm going to give you a quick video.
Global Investment Club, founded in 2014 in NYC. Goldfingr
Turn it up,
is the
please.
bridge from the west to the east. Goldfingr is more than just
A little bit more.
It's about expanding your reach with influential and like-minded people, touching your life and the lives of others, your businesses, and bettering yourself, humanity, and Mother Earth. It's time to join our Mastermind movement. How are you meeting new investors and connections? Even Bill Gates said he didn't make any new friends during the pandemic. How are you building and maintaining your relationships, accessing the next big thing and managing your deal flow? How are you making a difference to the planet and humanity? Goldfingr is one system for investing, raising capital, virtual meetings, events, and social networking. With Goldfingr, we've integrated 11 principles in our Neo Global Network, and our technology is a multiverse communications platform with a personalized experience for both investing and raising capital. Goldfingr is the first virtual club based on the Mastermind principle. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Join our Mastermind movement.
Check. So we started Goldfingr, like I said, in 2014 in New York City. So we're the first digital club, digital members club. We're also the first digital global investment club. So for the longest time, let's say pre-COVID, people didn't understand exactly what we were doing. They're like, where's your clubhouse? Where's your actual building, right? And we always said, I said, hey, we don't need it, but we're a digital club. They didn't understand. Then when COVID hit, and then all of a sudden you can't go to these clubs, right? You can't go to Harvard Club. You can't go to Annabelle's in London. You can't go to Soho House. You actually can't go to the bank. So that's not where the value is. The value is in the ecosystem. So let me ask you guys, what is your most valuable asset that you currently have right now? It's your network. It's your ecosystem. It's right here. It's right. Check. It's right here in our phones, right here. And we don't know how to access it. So what's going on is, let me ask you this. What if I told you that I created a system that would add value to your ecosystem, drive investors to your ecosystem, drive all the deal flow that you need from every market on the planet to your system, would able to put this and systemize it for you where your ecosystem can actually communicate and then add 3 to 5 revenue streams that you currently don't have through a token that you actually own. So you're actually making money by using this system. Would this interest you? Well, this is what we did. This is what we did. So, and how did we get there? So we started with traditional investing. Okay, we started with traditional investing. And when I looked at traditional investing platforms, and we're not talking about crypto or DeFi at the moment, we're talking about the rest of the planet, which is over 95% of the planet where all the capital is still out here. Right? So let me ask you, what was groundbreaking about Telegram? Telegram was the first messaging system 6-7 years ago on the blockchain. But when I ask investors, you guys out here, what you're using right now to invest in these DeFi projects, you're actually using the systems that you're against. Zoom, Hangouts. How are you communicating? You have to communicate virtually now, right? It used to be in person, old school. It's not happening as much anymore. We're blessed because we're here in Dubai. But so then what we were able to do is put this system and take it into an all-in-one type system, like a WeChat. We don't need 15 systems. That's why you're using 15 systems right now. You're using WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, LinkedIn, Facebook, Zoom, Hangouts. It just goes on and on and on. And why we use them? Because they're inefficient. You got different chats going on over here. Well, it's because the systems are not updated. They're old. These are the ones that we don't want to be on. If we're on the blockchain, right? It's taking our data, stealing our data, selling our data. Okay? So this is what we did. So first off, we went around the world and we created. We said, well, hey, we're going to go the top-down approach. So if we want to be impact as an organization and change the world, we have to have the decision makers, the investors, the entrepreneurs, the diplomats, the people that are changing the world, the people that are right here in the room. So we went around the world in every market and basically hand-selected the first 1,000 people, top investors. So now we have a very large ecosystem around the world of successful people that said, hey, let's work together, right, to change the world and innovate and collaborate and share resources. This is what we did. And we won multiple awards for it through the years. Gratefully, in 2019, we were the best investment club globally. Also in New York City, we won Best Investment Club. And then recently, like 3 weeks ago, we won Iconic Investment Club. But what we did is we created our business on a real fundamental business with revenue. So for over 3 years, we've been positive cash flow revenue as a tech company. So what does Goldfingr do? We're the bridge between capital and companies, and now private equity to cryptocurrency. So what do I mean by this? This is how we're taking crypto to mass adoption, or let's say digital assets rather, okay? Probably a more appropriate terminology these days. So digital assets, this is how we're doing it, is because you have to get the regular capital, the rest of the world, the majority of the wealth on the planet, right, over the 95%. The old school traditional investors, they have to be able to put their money into digital assets, right, for the whole thing to work. So think about back in the first tech bubble, those of you around. I was around, I went through the first tech bubble crash, right? Why did the tech, in simplest form in 2000, why did it crash? Because there was no fundamentals behind any of the businesses, behind any of the stock. There was no fundamentals. When there's no fundamentals, eventually it crashes, right? Well, what's going on in crypto right now? There's a transference of a lot of stuff that has nothing to do, but things are being reinvented. At the same time, you need the next Goliaths that are coming through. This is like the 2003 era of after the first tech bubble. So what we've done is created a container, a very large tech container, connecting the top people globally that focus on what they're actually looking for. What I found through the years is two things that people are looking for at the end of the day in this room. Everyone in here is probably raising capital, but capital, I mean intellectual, human, and real capital, right? And everyone's looking for, if you have capital, ways to make money on it. So this is what we're doing. Let's see. we go. So the goal, let me go back. So we talked about the challenges a little bit. Through traditional investment platforms like AngelList and OurCrowd that don't scale, by the way. They cannot scale this business model to a unicorn if you study them, okay? And 70% of the transactions on traditional investment platforms, and I'm not talking about DeFi at the moment, I'm not talking about crowdfunding, I'm talking about where the rest of the capital is on the planet. It goes outside of the platform. AngelList and OurCrowd, they're going over to communications platforms, the 15 different platforms that you're using. This is the stats. Because no investor is ever going to put $1 million into a system, traditional investing, by just looking at it, a deck, a pitch deck. It doesn't work that way. You got to communicate. And what happened during COVID? The in-person stuff just halted completely. So what we did is we created the all-in-one solution. So think of a Revolut, like a neobank type functionality. Communications like Telegram, encrypted communications. Video conferencing, right? We have events around the world. We have chapters in 9 international cities. We've had for about 4 or 5 years now. And access to the network, deals, connections. We have deal flow, full life cycle, sector agnostic. That means seed, A, B, seed, all the way up to secondary market and across the board. During COVID, we screened and had about 300 plus deals on our 2.0 platform. So it's AI investor matching, AI due diligence reports like PitchBook, private vetted social network, virtual events and conferences, and video conferencing. So let me give you, I'm sure all you guys have been around to all the events here in Dubai, all over the parties, and you're meeting all these people. How do you know if they're real? How do you know what they do? How do you know if they're who they say they are? There's all types of different scams that have been going on here. Well, our system, in order to come into the membership part, is a KYC AML, first step. They've also been interviewed, screened, all investors, KYC, so we know the people, and the people that are on the network are actually valid people. So, and what I talked about earlier, what happened during, let me go through what happened during COVID. During COVID, we pivoted. We had to. If ever, I think everyone did. If you didn't make major changes, right, you're gonna have some issues. Even if you did make major changes, you could have some issues, right? A lot of people do. A lot of people did. So what we did is we rolled out the all-in-one system in February of 2020. And we rolled out the 2.0 system in August of 2020. At the same time, a great thing happened during COVID, right? Is a company called Clubhouse popped up in Silicon Valley. And it was another digital club. And all of a sudden, people understood what we were doing. And all of a sudden, you can't go to Harvard Club, and you can't go to all these other Annabelles in London or Soho House. And then people are communicating on Zoom, but how are you making any new connections on Zoom? You're not. It's coming out of your phone, or someone else put them on the phone. It's inefficient. So what we did is we created the all-in-one system, tested it, right? Clubhouse went mass market, not mass market. They kept it sort of exclusive, but then they basically now have 5 million users, $4 billion market cap, and 0 revenue. So go back to fundamentals of business. What? So we kept our user base small, just 1,000 users, and been averaging $70 to $100 per user per month, right? And now we're scaling the whole thing up, coming through our token and our digital asset, and through our launchpad that we're developing. So we're also in the process of developing the 3.0 system, which is on the blockchain, right? With our own token, our own launchpad that gives investors, users, anyone access to the network, to all the premium features, to the deals, right? To all the investors, and all of that, really the value of the ecosystem. And so when we were able to, August, we were able to monetize our ecosystem with the 5 revenue streams. investors started coming to us and say, hey, I'm using Zoom. Can I use your platform? And we're like, sure, of course. And they're like, well, I have a whole portfolio of deals, investments that I cannot, I need to, my portfolio that are also raising capital. Because I only put in some of the money. Can we use your platform? We said, sure. And then they said, hey, can we white label your platform and actually put it on a different database, right? And I said, no, we don't do that because that's broken as well. It's not efficient. So what we'll do is create your own investment club in our system with your brand, and we'll drive all the deals to you. We'll drive all our investors to you, over 100,000 accredited and institutional investors, and we'll monetize it with 5 revenue streams, just like we did ours. And all of this now runs through our token and our Launchpad. So we're now scaling ecosystems at a time, but not only that, the most valuable ecosystems, because it's the ecosystems of the people that are changing the world and that are funding this change to the world, not the other way. Let's clarify that. And the other thing is let's just talk about consciousness. If you haven't been through COVID and a quarantine and you didn't realize that we need to change some major things, it's time to wake up, because everything is changing at a rapid pace, and it's either changing for the bad or we're changing it for the good. And the only way to change the world, thank you, is about working together. It's impossible to do it siloed. I love what I do because I'm blessed, because the top innovators, investors come through us. I talk to on a daily basis. And the innovation, the change that's going on right now is unbelievable. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. And it's all coming together. These guys are saying, hey, we're innovating. We need this, this, and this in capital. And these guys are doing this over here, and they're doing this. I'm like, why aren't you guys working together? That's what we're here to do as humans, is to cohabitate, to work together. And it's the only way. You can't change the world siloed. It's impossible. It doesn't work that way, right? So we actually have to work together if we want to actually accomplish what we want to accomplish. Not only have to, we get to, because it's a gift, it's a blessing, right? So this allows us, and this has been going on for centuries. The Mastermind principle, when 2 or more minds align in harmony, a third mind is created, which is exponentially greater than the sum of its parts. It's been changing every major innovation in the world. Every fortune has been built upon this for centuries. Centuries. If you go back and you study it. I've studied it as well. And if this works so well, why isn't it done on a global scale? And what's the missing piece of that? The technology. So this is what we've done. On top of all this, with the amazing team and the years of hard, dedicated work, we've been able to create this system. Not only that, but a conscious network with 11 principles of people that are willing to work and actually empower each other instead of compete, but co-opetition, I like to call it. So here's our 5 revenue streams. Launchpad, staking, yield farming with a liquidity pool from our token, our Goldfingr token. Subscriptions of memberships. This is the longest revenue stream, and we've been positive monthly cash flow revenue for over 3 years with this. Debt financing. Traditional debt financing at this moment. We had this happen because of user stories about people kept coming to us for so often saying, hey, we need capital. Do you guys do debt? Commissions and fees, some equity funding. So we have our broker dealer on record in the United States, which is Bruce Rabin, Hudson Capital Advisors. Yep. Revenue projections. We could talk about that privately. So Goldfingr token use cases. Memberships and subscriptions. Staking. For those who in here knows what staking is? Okay, great. So basically, instead of paying to play, with our system, you're earning to play. You're actually making tokens to get access to all this stuff, right? You're actually getting rewards, getting returns. Goldfingr token USPs. It's a Launchpad token that rewards our members and unlocks access to Goldfingr's premium services, events, deal flow, capital, and our global network. Goldfingr token is tied to both the value of the network and the number of users. Simple Metcalfe's law, the network effect. Goldfingr Crypto Club. For all the VCs that are coming in or around right now, we have created a crypto club, and this is sharing of deal flow, collaborating, sharing of resources, sharing of ecosystems, right, to help fund these projects, both private pre-sale that are coming and voting and the governance through our token to be able to vote for the companies that come through our system that go on our Launchpad. The Goldfingr team, Rockstar team over here. We got Noe, a couple of them are here. Noe over here. We got Yarden Tamari, Stephen Cutter over here, Rishab, Henrik, the whole TDeFi team, which we're very grateful for, who have done an amazing, amazing job and exceeded our expectations way more than I ever thought. So thank you so much. These are some of our advisors. Rishab, right here. Orion Depp, I think it's here at some point. Anthony Blackburn, Juwan Lee. Juwan Lee is a good friend of ours. Juwan owns, founder of Hong Kong Blockchain Week, Singapore Blockchain Week, Africa Blockchain Week, the largest blockchain networks in the world. These will all be rolled into our new system. Philip Egan, Corey, Josh, Camille, Kevin Bradford from Yield Labs. I don't know if Kevin's here. These are some of our traditional advisors. We got Isaiah Medina, who's former head legal counsel of the Security Council of the United Nations. Bruce Rabins, co-founder of Jefferies Investment Bank, used to be partnered with Michael Milken, Lee Stern. Michael Besdick, another investment banker. Jeff Ramson, investment banker. Davis Rossborough. Amir Merchant is our partner here. Amir started private wealth management for HSBC like 24 years ago in the UAE GCC region. So really rockstar team, and I just want to thank you everyone so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Shreya and Mr. Mayan to felicitate our speaker, please.